Hey everybody, and welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to join me on another trade review. It was Friday. I keep it really slow on Friday. I just get out, start the weekend early, right? We only had one play, and we're watching a couple other things. We did have the Jackson Hole Fed speech where Jay Powell was fairly dovish in his tone and signaled a potential rate cut in September that's looking fairly certain at this point, and the market being forward-looking has rallied on that news substantially. So we'll talk about all of that in today's video, going through our small and micro caps that we played, and then that general market sentiment here, maybe even reviewing our long-term portfolio. So if you've been paying attention to the videos here, you'll know for the last couple weeks, it has been a small cap earnings theme. So EpicQuest had earnings, rallied off of it, pulled back under support, but had a nice reversal, pairing that with the key level breakout, reclaiming that support, right? This is a downtrend breakout as well, right? So kind of converging here at the same time gives us a little bit more certainty on the trade. We take entry here on basically the downtrend breakout. Like I said, there's a couple things here. We have our reversal, we have our key level breakout, we have the downtrend breaking here. So we actually took our entry a little prematurely if we are getting right into the nitty gritty, right? I want a candle to open and close above that trend line. And we see we don't really have that here, right? So we tuck in here, but this candle right here, this red one with the wick on top, that's the one we like, and that's where we enter. Our stop loss is below this the pullback, right? So it's like basically a VWAP reclaim off the reversal signal, which we had. Trying to get in on a trend retest, waiting for confirmation, right? Because it could reject again, and that's where that candle kind of comes in for us. Then we get our 1-to-1 really nicely here, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, and even our 5-to-1 into open, which is great. And this rallied from, what was this? 112 to our final exit at 157. That's 40%. And if you were lucky enough to get out at the top, that's going to be about 51, 52% from our entries off of a really nice entry model here in the morning. So textbook play, very low risk. With that being said, the risk reward here is really tight, and that allows us to get a really good trade on the top end with that 5-to-1 reward on our runners. This was just earnings, right? So that's our catalyst, and it's really been on theme. These guys are announcing proceeds from warrants, which is probably not great. Priced at the market, and it's also post earnings, right? So that is probably going to have something to do with it as well. And it's running. We get that news pop in the morning, and it holds VWAP, just holding and consolidating. You kind of call this like a breakdown and reclaim. If you wanted to enter, oh man, that would have been crazy risk reward. Like, even if you waited till this red candle, right, where it opens and closes above VWAP, you kind of see how we have that gap of space below it. Right, we have this dead space here. That would be our entry candle right here, or even the next one. And then our stop would be right here. I didn't take it. It's Friday. I'm trying to, be slow about it. But if you did, like, that would have been crazy risk reward, right? Like on the top end, even off the morning run, that's a 6-to-1. And then it goes into like the actual morning session would have been 13-to-1 risk reward off of an entry model, which we all know, right? This is something we've done lots on the channel, where we have the news pop, VWAP breakdown, reclaim, wait for confirmation. Here's your stop below this, that breakdown low, and just swing it up, scale out. So that's a little bit of a miss for us, but it's good to still talk about it, right? It's on theme. Post earnings had news, which generated our entry model, right? We just missed it, baby. And it did die, right? Like, not great, basically a round trip. But we don't typically play the right side of the apex, always trying to get in on the left. with a predefined risk, our stop loss, right? And even right at open, like this is kind of crazy. We had a couple aggressive candles at open, dunked down to the 200, and then just the rest is history. You know, there was no more coming back after this. So if you could have got in right at open, that would have been great. But optimal entry would have been off of the reclaim of VWAP off that news right in the morning. And then, JPAL was pretty dovish, signaling rate cuts in September, which we can check out. I lost my notes for yesterday. I had to remake them. FedWatch tool. We'll just pull it back up. Well, the reverse repo we could check out on as well. Kind of going up a little bit, but still, on the broad spectrum of things, very much down. And then FedWatch. So the reverse repo just kind of signifies that major market participants have a better place to park their money overnight, where they feel comfortable with the risk, right? About 75% chance that we'll see a cut here in September. So we'll have to wait and see. This was actually a little higher yesterday, so I'm surprised to see it down a bit. We were up at like about 83, I think. So 25 days until that decision is announced, so we can kind of keep an eye on that. But because of that, we've seen sectors that really rely on that interest rate. For example, open, right? This is something that's kind of going through a short squeeze right now. Home building is definitely rate sensitive. Open is like home buying and selling, which is similar because a lot of people are obviously going to need loans to facilitate that. So if they can get a better deal on their loan, then there'll be more business for them, obviously, right? So that kind of sparks renewed interest in this with a massive rally. I'm not in this by any means, but just watching it. And we had that original short squeeze, and let's see if we can kind of break new high. And it looks like we are. Wow. Okay. Open is very much on the table. Reversal, key level breakout, fucking squeeze, trying to retest, break all-time high. Well, I guess it's not all-time high, but previous high. Very interesting. I mean, if you want to play this just up to the liquidity level, right, that next local high, we can get there. Right, maybe up to 540. And I don't know if we're filling any gaps. Typically, like I'm not trying. So we just filled this one, right? There's this one here. But like above us, there's some little ones. Like they do exist. It's a pretty choppy stock. There's like that's tiny. I might not even map that specifically until we get to it. I'd be more interested in this. There's a small one here as well. Another small one here. Typically, like the larger the gap, the better, because then there's like a void in liquidity that'll, like, it's easier to fill that way. Sorry, let's draw that over. Sure, there's like an extend to right button, but I haven't looked it up. And this is actually brutal. Okay, here we are. So then we get some levels that we can play off intraday. And, we're almost there, right? So maybe we can get to the gap and reject, or maybe we fill the gap. We'll see. I don't really have any guidance for this. It's 3.8 billion market cap already, so it's up drastically. A lot of volume, though. Like the current day volume, 65 million. I guess the average is kind of messed up, though, because of the last squeeze, which I think was still within his 30 days, right? Right? It was not 30 days ago yet, so like this massive $2 billion or 2 billion share day is still there. So, I mean, if this volume can ramp up again, It's got room. Even like if you really wanted to get after it. Whoops. Maybe something like 1050, but I don't know. As far as the long term goes, I think the last thing we were really checking was Intel we added. We're up on that. I'm mostly cash right now and GameStop. I've got about $65,000 chilling in GameStop for the earnings run here. We're going to scale out on that, and I was really looking for a market pullback, but you know, with I don't know if we're going to get it. We deserve it. I just don't know when it will be. Intel we're on at 21 or something was our last long-term ad, so about 20% up on that. Just on a smaller position, but back to where we were pre-dump, which is nice. I would love to fill this gap up to 28, right? And we can start scaling out there. Aside from that, the S&P 500, like I said, was rallying on the cut likelihood. So, you know, we were kind of retracing aggressively. Right? And I was like, oh, well, we've got this downtrend. We can maybe retest and break down, but we just blow right through it. So, you know, we do test that 21 moving average here. We don't break down, and away we go. So, you know, we're aiming for all-time high again, which it looks like we got it. Right? It looks like that's a new high for us yesterday or on Friday. So, you know, Monday's going to be, it's probably bullish all week until something bad happens, and then maybe we can retest this gap. But I don't know. The market has just been absolutely crazy. What a nice buying opportunity. And then even getting in on confirmation ads off that daily reversal, it's paid off immensely for us. So that's been really nice. Not really too much going on. You know, it's pretty slow. Everybody's mostly just, I think, holding their breath for that announcement. So it's nice that we have it. And, you know, we'll progress. Where did my second chart go? There it is. We'll progress with that moving forward next week. Leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, have a great day.